Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our Greenleaf Season 5, Episode 6 reaction. And for everyone wondering out there, I am not okay. This is like a code level orange situation. There are like alarms going off in my house. How can you guys do this to me? Like, we are only a couple episodes out from the end of the show. Obvious spoiler alert from everything in the episode tonight, but you guys know I've been wanting a Darius spinoff. Are you kidnapping Darius so he can go off and do a spinoff? Is that what's going on here?
Listen, no body, no death. That's where I'm sitting on this right now.
I really hope you're right. I don't know if I can take losing Darius at this point. They're all so close. Bob and Judy need to be taken down. And also Phil. Phil needs to be taken down too at this point. And we're so close, and yet so far, and there's only a couple of episodes left.
I can't believe, yeah, we only have 2 more episodes left. That is it. That is it.
Okay, well, we're going to get into everything. Before we do, if you guys do enjoy this video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and you can also support us at the store. There's a link in the description below. And we also have just started a Patreon page, and if you'd like to support us, we have a number of different perks and everything over at that site. So thank you very much if you're interested in checking that out as well. Where do we begin here?
Okay, we have to start with the big Darius question because obviously Matt is very worked up about it. I didn't like it either, but I kind of felt like it was coming. As soon as that phone call came in and he was like, I've got some information, it's happening, I need to meet you right away. I was like, oh no, this is going to go so badly. He is not going to be showing up. And is he going to be dead? Is he kidnapped? Is he silenced another way? Nobody knows. It wasn't good. I mean, it's not looking good. I do say no body, no death, because that is how it kind of works 99% of the time. But why wouldn't he be coming back to his home? So if he's not dead, he's probably on his way to being dead. I mean, that whole comment about, like, nobody cares about media, yeah, it's not good.
Okay. Okay. I am going to live in denial for a little while longer, though let's have some real talk. This is what I thought was happening. I thought when you got that phone call, I think the moment that you heard, oh, I've got some important information, you got to come over here, I think we all assumed something terrible was going to happen. I thought we were going to see the two of them together, and then somebody was gonna show up and it was gonna end with like some sort of like confrontation at gunpoint or something kind of crazy. I didn't think she was gonna show up and he was already gonna be just like gone, and then we don't know exactly what happened to him. But here is the thing, and this is what I've sort of thought about here, is that if something happens to Darius at this point, or if it has already, you've already got a clear suspect as to who is the perpetrator here. It's not exactly like this is some clandestine secret. If you make a threat about the media, guess who's gonna be the suspect for the crime?
Yeah, I'm gonna just call that out as a little bit strange. I mean, he basically went up and was like, I did this, so you don't do anything either. I mean, Grace has enough now to go and say something or do something. She knows that he's involved, so meh, I don't really know what was happening here with that. I kind of thought when she showed up and the house was dark, I'm like, okay, she's either going to walk in, he's going to be dead, or he's gone, or whatever's going to happen. I don't know why he just drove up and was basically like, by the way, this happens to journalists, so you better watch your step. I don't know why he didn't just pick her up and throw her in the car. I thought that's where we were going with it. What's the purpose of the threat? You know Grace is not going to just stop and be like, oh, well, Darius is gone, I'll just let that go. Like, why? Now he's painted a target on his own back. It was very strange.
I have really no clear understanding in my head as to what exactly it is that they're doing here, because, yeah, if Darius is dead, you've pretty much given the game away at this point by making the threat. If he's not dead, if he's kidnapped, you can still go to the police if you're Grace, if you're not going to throw her in some ominous van and be like, yeah, so I think I know who kidnapped Darius based on this threat. It's just, it seems so obvious what could happen, but this is Greenleaf. Nothing is probably that obvious. Maybe somebody has Darius off somewhere and they're offering him like a giant bag of money if he just like walks away and nobody ever...
And goes to the spinoff.
And goes to the spinoff and nobody ever hears from him again, and that becomes the burden that is weighing him down as I sit here and write the Darius spinoff right in front of you guys.
I really wish they would just tell us what the spinoff is, and my guess is that whatever happens at the end is going to go into the spinoff, but man, I really want to know what the spinoff is going to be about, because now there's kind of a couple of different directions it can go with Grace. I mean, we saw Darius, I know he's missing right now, he could be dead, he could not be dead, but Darius kind of said, you know, hey, at the end of all of this, we need to have a talk about our future. And then Noah also laid out a future tonight where he said, I'm getting a place. Me and AJ are going to move down the street from my mom. There's a space for you here too. No pressure, you know, no strings attached. You can move in with us. You can be in your own room. You can be with me. You can be whatever you want. Like, you know, here's another spinoff right here waiting to happen. Like, it's interesting. There's a couple of ways that can go, and it feels like the spinoff, and I had said this before, I'll say again, I think it's going to involve Grace in some way, because she is the one person, the one Greenleaf that came back from being somewhere else, so she could leave again to do something else. So I don't know, I think that's where it could go.
I'm fine with having like 1,000 different Greenleaf spin-off ideas right now, because number one, it's fun. Number two, it's not like the show's giving us all that much evidence as to where they're going one way or the other. I feel like we just have a lot that is sort of left open right now. And of course, because we didn't have enough going on with Cavalry possibly being destroyed, Lady Mae's secret, Darius possibly being dead, we also need a good old-fashioned love triangle to throw in here as well.
Of course.
Why not?
Okay, so let's talk about Lady Mae's secret, because you brought that up. So we knew that this was coming. We saw it in the preview. It came, it went. It didn't really change a lot, which is what I, in some ways, was hoping. It was a really cool scene to see, you know, Jacob and Charity and Grace all kind of getting drunk and having a laugh over it and being like, oh, okay, well, here we are kind of thing. I like that a lot. For me, that was the highlight of the episode, was to see the three of them all just drinking and laughing and being, how ridiculous is the family? Like, oh my God, what is next? That kind of thing. There was a part of me that was expecting Jacob to have a little bit of a different reaction. I thought that he was going to dive a little bit deeper, and this still may come, into the idea that his mom has had this affair. Now his wife has had this affair. He's had an affair. Can he get past it, seeing that his dad has gotten past what happened with Lady Mae? So I still feel like that might come, even though he was drunk being like, I don't even care. So it's possible when he sobers up, he may think about things a little bit differently.
I think he needs to. I think if that doesn't happen, it's kind of a situation where this doesn't matter as a twist. If everyone is just okay with it and doesn't have like any sort of emotional growth, what was the point other than, oh, here's a loose end we had to sort of throw at you guys because we know that we were sort of holding on to it for a long time. And, you know, as much fun as that, like, aftermath scene was, and it was very entertaining, it also still is kind of weird where here is this secret that's been hanging over everyone for, you know, as they said on the show, decades, and yet somehow it gets almost completely just overruled by the ending twist with Darius. That, like, that is the thing we're all kind of talking about now, as opposed to, oh, here is this thing that I know for you and I, we kind of speculated about it for a couple weeks, and it was just like, it was there, they seemed okay with it, and then we kind of moved on, and I'm just sort of feeling like, I need something more, guys. I know there's only 2 episodes, but just a little bit more.
Yeah, I think in some ways, the way that Lady Mae revealed it, where she was kind of like, oh, here's this secret. Grace is really your half-sister. I had an affair. Dinner's at 7, and then just went inside, that it was kind of like, okay, well, I guess this is how we're all supposed to kind of feel about it. Let's all have this quiet dinner and get drunk afterwards and move forward. And I didn't expect it to be this huge, colossal thing where Charity's like, oh, you're not really my whole sister, so mwah. I have 2 half-brothers, so you still feel that they're your brothers, they're your sisters, they're not, there's no half about them, they're still your family and your siblings. So I expected Charity and Jacob to feel that way, to be like, it doesn't matter, like, we're all still brothers and sisters, nothing has changed. Cool. But you could still have a reaction to the fact that your mom has lied to you guys for all these years.
We can have both. It's okay to have both. Everything can be nuanced. And okay, but I got to talk about something that's not nuanced now. Let's just all collectively boo Phil DeMars for a minute here. Because, like, what? Phil, I have been trying to believe in you.
Yeah, you really have.
To think that you are going to, see the light and it's going to come shining down on you and you're going to realize, oh, you know what? Maybe being with Judy is the worst because Judy is the worst. I don't know how you don't get this idea when, number one, her introduction to Phil's father is the most obnoxious thing ever. It's like, I'm his fiance. Look at my ring.
Oh my God.
And then number two, she also called him a pigeon, which is really, really terrible. I know that your relationship isn't great, but she still called the man a pigeon to your face within minutes of meeting him.
Yeah, and I mean, this is where I feel so sad that there's only 2 episodes left, because there is a lot of story here, obviously, with Phil and his dad. And we've just scratched the surface of this. Like, there's so much animosity there. And we've learned, of course, a little bit about it with, what his dad did, a little bit about his mom, but not really a lot. Just sort of, even Phil doesn't even know everything. And his dad coming back after all this time and all this animosity to deliver this news about what's going on. Phil is just not in a place where he's able to really process that news. He's living in Bob and Judy land with everything that's going on for all this time. His dad just popping up out of nowhere and being like, hey, by the way, your mom. Yeah, I kind of get where Phil's coming from, where he's like, I don't want to hear this. Like, who are you to come and tell me anything? I haven't seen you in, like, how many years? Like, bye. I do think it's going to sit with him, but with there only being 2 episodes left, I don't feel, for me, that there is enough time for any kind of redemption arc. So if that is where they're going with this, where at the last minute Phil's going to do the right thing, good for you, Phil. Do the right thing. I still don't like you. I just can't get in on you at this point. I mean, I'm just not into you. It's just not happening. So I do not want to see Phil come back, be with Charity. You blew it. And it's done. Enjoy your life with Judy.
Okay, see, I can think of about, I don't know, like 1,000 places I would rather be than Bob and Judy land. That just seems insufferable from what I've seen. Beyond,
Phil made his bed.
Phil did make his bed, and Phil,
he's taking selfies in the last episode with his hard hat, being like, "Hey, we're gonna destroy this church." Phil, out.
Okay, yeah, Phil, I can no longer give you the benefit of the doubt now that we are this close to the end of the show. I really tried, but I can't anymore. And like you, I understand why Phil is feeling the way that he does with his father turning up at this point, but that doesn't mean I like it. That doesn't mean that I want Phil to do that. Like, just open your eyes, Phil. Like, come on, man. There are other things that are out. Phil just needs to have a drink with Jacob and Charity. And I don't know. Maybe they'd loosen him up a little bit.
I think Phil just needs to take a minute. And I know there isn't a lot of time because the church is going to be destroyed pretty soon. But he still needs to take in what his dad said. And I think he's going to. I mean, this feels like this isn't just the end and how it's going to end. But it was cool to see Phil's dad actually be the person to show up. I thought that Charity and Grace were going to end up having to go see him. It was kind of cool to see him be like, hey, yeah, I'm here. I'm the person that hung up on you. Let's talk about this.
See, I will say that as mad as I am about Phil, the scene with Phil and Judy and Phil, I thought that was ridiculously entertaining from start to finish. That was great. The Rochelle in this episode, though, I'm having kind of a hard time sort of trying to figure out how I feel about it, because Rochelle's a great adversary. I think we probably can agree on that. Yeah. I don't really understand fully what her purpose is at the moment, other than just sort of coming in and just needling Bishop and everyone else and doing what she does well.
Yeah, I agree. I really like this family as a foil for the Greenleafs. I really liked Rochelle's whole arc before, and then the big reveal of who she was. I loved all the stuff with BASIE before. Her coming back now, there's not enough of, like, why is she back? Obviously, it's to, needle the Greenleafs, but there's got to be something that's a little bit more with it. And I mean, the scene with her and Bishop was great, and the back and forth was great. But what's the purpose? What is going on? We know that Tara is now like, oh, I didn't really know she was even showing up. I feel the same about, Rochelle and what she's doing, and I'm not the same as her. And there's no way to really prove any of this. It's such a short period of time that we have left. And yeah, it's just, I really want to see what the connection is, because we have these sort of loose threads of, like, Bob, and then the groundskeeper, and then Rochelle, and then Tara's over here doing good for the community, maybe, like, and who was in that van? It's BASIE. He still didn't show up, but, like, I'm still living in denial. There's just a lot of stuff that's going on that all feels connected, but it's just not there yet. But we have 2 more episodes, so
maybe all of these adversaries are going to come together and kind of be like this Legion of Doom, and they have to face off against all of them at once. Like, the Greenleaf family, they're our Avengers, right? I think we can agree on that.
I'm just hoping that there's a way that they are going to be able to either connect this stuff or tie it up in some kind of way.
I hope.
Now, the last thing we really need to talk about is Zora leaving. So,
do we have to?
Yeah, we do. So, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Everybody deals with divorce in different ways. I mean, I was really young when my parents got divorced. I was like 6, so I didn't really know what was going on. Zora's an adult, so she does know what's going on. She doesn't want to deal with it. She's saying she's dealing with it fine. Clearly she's not. She just wants a fresh start, and I get it. So seeing Jacob come in and be like, okay, listen, let's compromise. If you're going to go, let's try to make it so you go and you're not just like, oh, hey, I'm in New York with nowhere to stay and nowhere to go and nothing to do and no money and I don't know what's happening. That he just wants to make sure that she's going to be able to get there and have a good, fresh start. And I liked that moment a lot.
So this is the thing with this, is that I liked that stuff a lot. I like the stuff with Zora and Jacob. I mean, you could actually probably make a case that Zora, Greenleaf spinoff, her separate from the rest of the family.
Yeah,
like,
see what's going on in New York.
Yeah, I think Zora herself is a good character.
Yeah,
The Zora Sophia stuff where you've got, like, vengeance and, oh, I'm gonna start spreading your secret around now. It's like, this is all kind of petty. Like, do you guys really need to be doing this?
They're young girls.
I guess.
Listen, that is kind of the way that it is. I'm not gonna pretend it's not like that. It is 100% like that for girls that age. A lot of us have been there, not you, but me.
I guess.
Like, I know that is the way that girls at that age can be. So it was believable. The problem for me is that this whole Sophia and the picture thing, I'm just not into it. And I totally get that it happens. And this is a world that we're living in where that happens. But I just haven't cared about that storyline even a little bit. But I love Sophia and Zora together, and I just wish there was sort of a little more of that didn't have to do with this picture. Sophia's had some really, really good storylines, and she's had some really hard storylines. And so in some ways I thought that would have kind of pushed her, I guess, into a different headspace moving forward, because when you're that young and things like that happen to you, she's she had this surgery that's left her where she can't have children anymore at this very young age. That matures you in a lot of ways. But it does also send you off the deep end, which is what's happened.
I think it's really just, I would rather this little bit of time that we have on this show, if that was either spent on a better Sophia storyline or give some of that to Phil and his dad so we can understand more of the backstory there or something else. But beyond a doubt, I did love this episode. I think it's one of the better episodes this season. I think it's a really, really good cliffhanger that is also making me very mad.
It's going to be a long week to find out what happened to Darius.
Well, hopefully, we're recording this before seeing the promo, so hopefully the promo sheds a little bit of light on all of this, and we won't just be, like, running around freaking out for the next little while, but we'll have a promo analysis coming before too long, but let us know what you thought about this episode, your theories on the final two in the comments, and like we said earlier, if you do want to support us more, give us a like, subscribe, check out the link below to the store, to our new Patreon where you can see all of our different tiers and stuff we're offering there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you here next time.